Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys the basics to using Vegas Pro 14. Now, the first thing I want to throw out there when using this program is that the layout can be very confusing to first time users. Now, when I saw this, I also had that same initial reaction. So, once I figured out all the tools and what each function of the windows were, it's not as confusing as it looks, and that's the point of this video. I'm going to teach you guys how to use this. One other thing I want to mention about Vegas Pro 14 is that some components of this program is too advanced for a basic tutorial video. So to keep this video organized, I will be telling you which components of this program I will be focusing on. Now, if I don't mention any other components, then just leave it in its default state when using this program to avoid any major changes that you can make to the layout. So following my cursor to the top left, we're going to be focusing on these tabs up here. Now, you may be familiar with these tabs if you use something like, for example, Office Word, PowerPoint, or Spreadsheet. Now, the main things we're going to be focusing on these tabs is the File and Edits tab. Now, you're mostly going to be using your Files tab to save and render, and I highly recommend saving often because this program can occasionally crash if you're rendering like really hard videos. And what I mean by hard is that like there's a lot of effects, your computer can't take it. But unless you have a stronger PC with like higher specs, then it's totally fine to save not as often, but it's still good to do. It's a good editing practice. The Edit tab is where you're going to find all your features that you can't really find on the main windows. Now, this is very convenient. I don't really come here too often because I don't have the problem of finding the features within each window. But if you're having a hard time, this is where you're going to go. Now, the main thing that you're probably going to focus on in this tab is the trim tools and the cut, copy, and paste tools. Now, what you're going to use the cut, copy, and paste tools for is if you want to take out a couple of clips that you have on your timeline and put it in somewhere else. Like if you want to make a copy of it, this is where you're going to go to make it. Now, the trim is any unwanted like films, like extra scenes that you have in a clip. This is where you can go to take it out, and it's really helpful because many videos that you might have extra footage that you probably don't want in your main video, so this is where you can go to take it out. Below these tabs are shortcuts. Now, you're going to be using these often because they're in a much more convenient location. And two extra features I want to bring up is the undo and redo button. Now, these are going to be really helpful if you just tend to make a lot of mistakes. They'll just cover right up. You can just restart whatever you were trying to do. The first window I'm going to be talking about is the file browser window, which is this one right here. So, the file browser window, this is where you're going to open up all your files that are in your hard drive, and any files that you do open up and put into this program, it will appear right here in this Project Media tab. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to mention that I'm not going to include the functions of these buttons right here. They're just extra features that Vegas Pro 14 has offered us. Now, the Explorers tab, this is where you go to open up your hard drive and find any clips that you have stored inside your computer. Your Transitions tab is where you get to put transitions into your videos. As for the Video Effects tab, you can put both of these into your videos to give it that extra pizzazz that you want. Now, I'll show you guys how to put these into your video in a minute. First, let me explain the functions of each window. The next window I'm going to be talking about is this bottom one right here, which is the timeline. Now, the timeline presents all your videos, your transition, your video effects. All of it shows up in the bottom portion right here. Now, let me show you what it looks like. Let me just find a video for you. So, as you can see, the video that I just put in is a gameplay clip that I got from Madden 19. Now, this clip will present itself like this. It has the sound bar and it has the actual video itself. The video and the sound bar work together to present itself on the video's preview window, which is right here. Now, it presents itself by using this black line right here. Now, when I play this black line, what this line is going to do is it's going to move to the right. And wherever the black line is on, that is what's going to show up on the video's preview window. To show you what that actually looks like, I'm going to played the video, but before I play the video, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do to play that video. Now, over here, these are media buttons. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with this. It's also down here too at the bottom left by the timeline. Now, we have your play from the start, play, pause, stop, go to start, go to end, previous frame, and next frame. Now, you may be familiar with from play to start all the way to go to end, but you may not be familiar with the next frame and previous frame. Now, what that means is when you usually make an edit, you usually have multiple clips. And what it means by going to the next frame or next or previous clip or frame is that it's saying like, do you want to go to the next clip that you've inserted or to the previous clip you inserted, and that's what these buttons are for. Since I'm on the topic of the video's preview window, it would make sense if I told you guys what these buttons are up here for. So these two buttons, these are meant to take snapshots of whatever image is presented on the screen right here. Now, what you would use these buttons for is to either create a thumbnail for your video, or I usually use this to share what I'm posting on social media. Like for example, Instagram, I like to post a lot of my edits on there. But the difference between two buttons is that this button saves the screenshot to your folder inside your hard drive, while this one saves it to your clipboard. So this one kind of works like copy and paste. Now, the resolution settings, this is supposed to help like adjust the resolution of your video it's playing at. And what I mean by that is that what's like right now down here, it says it's playing by 1920 by 1080p. Now, because you're gonna put a lot of effects and transitions into this video, this is going to make your software crash often. So what I usually do is that I go to this, I click best, and I put quarter. This turns the resolution down to 480 by 270. Now what this does is it makes the video easier to run with the software, so it's less likely to crash. So I'm going to be showing you guys how the video's preview window works with the timeline. So starting from the very beginning, and I click the play button, notice how the line is moving to the right. So what that means is, as the line is moving to the right, it's going to display whatever's on the timeline up here in the Windows box right here. Now, since I lowered the resolution, it may be a bit more pixely, but this is to help reduce the chances of the software is going to crash. Now, what these sound bars are meant to display is how loud your video is and whether or not there's audio at these locations. So when there's audio, there's going to be fillings like these here in the sound bar, and the more filling there is, the louder your video is going to be. Now if I click the pause button, notice how the line stops and it stays at whatever the image on the timeline is up here. This is the volume output window, which is right here in this top right corner. Now let me move this out for you guys. So we're going to be focusing on 4 things in this window: the mute button, the automation settings, the master effects button, and the volume slider. Right now I have the video on mute because I don't want the video speaking over me while I'm trying to teach. So how the mute button works is if it's highlighted like this, that means your video will be playing no sound, no audio will be coming out of it at all. When it's no longer highlighted, that means your video will play sound. Now the automation settings, this is what controls the level of sound that comes out between each videos. So let's say you have 2 videos in the timeline and both have separate audio levels. So this automatically levels it out to sound more balanced between each video. Now the master effects, this is where you go to apply any effects that you want in your voice. Like if you want distortion, for example, or you want to make it smooth or enhance, you can come here to do it. Now how you do it is, let's say you want to make your sound smooth or enhance. So you left click smooth and enhance, and you left click add, and it will show up on the top left right here. Now when you click OK, a separate window will show up. Now what this window does is it lets you control how much effect you want on your voice. So let's say you want your voice to sound more enhanced and focus on commentary rather than the actual video. And you just move it over to the enhance side, and the farther it is on the enhance side, the more clearer your voice will sound compared to the video. Now if you have it on smooth, then both the video audio and the commentary within it will sound both clean, but it may be hard to distinguish which is what. So that's why I always go with enhance in this window. So how to adjust the volume, you just move the slide. If you want to make your sound quieter, you just lower it down, and you can see that the decibels are decreasing to -5. Or if you want to increase the sound, you can go up, and as the number rise or lowers, it will increase or decrease the amount of audio that's coming out of your video. The last thing I want to show you guys before I end this video is how to add in transitions, video effects, and fade into your videos. Now I use these a lot when I create gaming edits. I highly recommend you guys add these to your videos. It's a lot of fun to play with. In order to apply transitions and video effects to your video, you must add in fade. And here's how you add in fade. You go to the top left of your clip and you just drag the bar towards the center or the end of your clip. Depending on how far you drag it means how much fade there is in your video. Now look at the video's preview window. I'm going to show you guys what a fade looks like. So when I click the play button, it starts out black, but then it starts to present the image. So that's what a fade is. You might see these for many openings in gaming videos on YouTube. This is it's a really common thing to add in. Once you have your fade set on your clip, you can add transitions by going to the transitions tab and holding left click on the transition you want. I'm going to use the simple one right here. I'm going to hold left click and drag it all the way down to the fade portion of my video. This is what your video is going to look like once you add in transitions. It's a very nice transition. I'll show you guys how to do video effects. It's the same process really. Let me delete the transition. Now you just do the same thing like you did on transitions. You just hold left click and you drag this all the way to your faded portion of your video. Now it's going to look something like this. It's going to look very grainy, and then it's going to go clear. So now you guys know the basics to using Vegas Pro 14. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I absolutely loved making this, and if you're wondering what you can do to learn a lot more about this program, I highly recommend that you guys just get hands-on, just start experimenting. That's what I did when I first started learning. It's a lot of fun, plus there's no harm in it.